is from them. See, that's another thing. I don't let motherfuckers wiggle out of it. You see, I use their own dates. Now, the date of the flood, now some of them, once you done mastered their ass, then you know they get to tweaking and shit, and they get fucking with the dates and shit, even though the dates been the same for a while now. You see what I'm saying? Right around, because they say the earth was created around 4,000 something BC. You see, that's what they say. So they can't really tweak it too much. You know what I'm saying? Because in the Bible, you know, from Adam and the creation of the earth and so on and so forth, it show how many years between each person, you know, transpired. You see, so you can't really fumble with the fucking numbers too much. And so the flood was around 2,342 BC, according to Christians and Jews, straight out of their encyclopedias. Okay? So right around 2,342. What is very, very significant about that is that 77 kings had already sat on the damn throne of ancient Egypt. Okay? And let me go on and put this up here so we can get straight to this. You see? So we can get straight to this, and I'm gonna keep it moving because we got so much. And so this is the Abydos Kings list. Now, which you know is at the Temple of Abydos, constructed by Pharaoh Seti I, and along with his son Ramesses II. You see, now you know when you go to Abydos and you get a chance to see this kings list, there is over 76 kings on the list. There's over 76 kings on the list. It starts with Narmer, the very first king, who supposedly ruled around 31 or 3200 BC, and it ends with Seti. You see Seti right there. You see the young man right there is Ramesses II, and that's supposedly the Pharaoh that Moses had his confrontation with. Now they try to change it, and they try to go a couple of pharaohs before Ramesses. You know, they try to go 2, 3, but it don't make no difference. You feel what I'm saying? It does not make a difference. Now, what is very, very critical is not supposed to be Egypt before the flood. You see, because only, you know, Egypt, according to the Bible, is the son of Ham. Cush is the son of Ham. Only 8 people got on the boat. Only 8 people got off the boat. So Egypt, Ethiopia, Cush, Canaan, all of these nations are after the flood. We got a problem. We got a problem because we have a kings list that starts around 3200 BC, 3200 BC, and it goes up to 1300 BC, and you see right there, Ramesses ain't even on the list yet. You see, and so when they say, you know, and I'm gonna break back 2 places with this, because you got the in the Bible it says that the Israelites was forced to build 2 cities, Pithra, I think is Pithys and Pi-Ramesses. You see, Pi-Ramesses was one of those, and I can bring it up. It's not a problem. Matter of fact, I got that Bible thing on deck. Well, all I had to do is just drop it in there, and it's gonna bring it right on up. Let me get in there. Pi-Ramesses. Okay, well, let me just put in. Maybe I'll put too many Ramesses in there. Right, Pithom. Let me go in there and let me take a snapshot of it for you and drop it in. Okay, let me drop it on in there, family. Took a small little snapshot. So we talking about they supposedly built, reading from Exodus 1:11, it says, therefore they set taskmasters over them to afflict them with heavy burdens. They built for Pharaoh store cities, Pithom and Ramesses. Okay, you look at this right here. You got this is 2,000 years from Narmer to Seti, 2,000 years from Narmer to Seti. You see Ramesses right there as a boy. He ain't even on the fucking list yet. Okay, and they just getting started. That's very significant that you understand that. That ain't even no, and so they can play with and take it back to pharaohs before Ramesses. It don't make no difference. There is no other nation on the planet that got a document. This is an original document right here. Okay, this is an original document. This is not a copy or a carbon copy. This is the original King's List carved in the wall. Okay, 2,000 years. No other nation on the planet got an original document with that many kings in a dynastic rule. You hear what I'm saying? That go on for 2,000 years. And you talking about at 1300 BC, it's still about 600. It's still about 600 years, 700 years, of African rule even after that. Because I think you got the Persians come in around 600 BC. They come in, the first conquest was by the Persians around 600 BC. So, you still got 700 years after Seti. You see, you still got 700 years after Seti. And so, they date the first king of Israel, I believe, was Saul. Okay, I believe was Saul. He was the first king, I believe, was Saul. Okay, around 1000 BC. You see, 1000 BC. They ain't even on the scene yet as a nation. That's backbreaking. And even the cities that they say that they built, this right here is before all of that. Ain't no Ramesses. It says that, and the key about that, which y'all got to understand, and I want you to understand, that the Ramesside kings only ruled at a certain period. So you see Ramesses, that's Ramesses II right there. His grandfather, which was the father of Seti, he was Ramesses I. So you talking about the 19th dynasty of Egypt before you have any Ramesses. You see, before you have any Ramesses, you talking about 18 dynasties have passed. You see, 18 dynasties have passed before you get a Ramesses. So if they build it and it says, and therefore they set taskmasters over them to afflict them with heavy burden, they built for Pharaoh store cities, Pithom and Ramesses. Man, listen here. These peoples is just yesterday. You see what I'm saying? These peoples is just yesterday, and you got to understand that this is mythological, but the areas in which they claiming that they lived in is historically ruled and populated by African people, and that's why we have to go in there and go to war. You understand? To keep, to keep our sovereignty. You understand? We're not gonna give it to them. It's like you slap them with one hand to get them up off, and then come back and slap them with the other. You understand what I'm saying? To get them all the way up out of there. You understand? But you have to explain it in sequence. You see, you have to explain it in sequence. So right there with that one fact, we've proven, number one, okay, we've proven with the flood, number one, that Egypt existed before the flood. Now, what does that do? If Egypt existed before the flood, then that means that Ham is not his father. We understand that Ham means black, and we are right with that. But we understand that Ham is not the father of Egypt. Okay, we can accept the fact that as they tried to steal our story, they left certain facts in place that Egypt was black, and we accept that. But the fact is, if Egypt existed before the flood, if Cush existed before the flood, then Ham cannot be the father of Cush or Ethiopia. That's a fact. And so if Ham is not the father of Cush and Ethiopia, then you cannot say that Noah is the father of all people on the planet. You cannot say that. You see, that myth right there has been destroyed at that point. The myth of Ham, Shem, and Japheth have been destroyed at that point. Okay, it's destroyed. Okay, and so the Bible is in trouble. And number two, if the Hebrews were in Egypt and they built cities for Pithom and Ramesses, it would have had to been at minimum into the 19th dynasty, meaning 18 dynasties have passed. Okay, now what's clear about is that they never said that they built the pyramids. You see, that it never said that they built the pyramid. It said that they built cities of Pithom and Ramesses. No, this is the wrong one right here. Let me get the pyramids up there, so you can understand some things. Now I'm gonna put this one down, another biblical timeline. I love using their own shit. You see right here, this is their own timeline. This is their own timeline. And so you see up there at the top. You see up there at the top, Japheth. And you see Heth in which it was the son of Canaan, and Japheth. And then you see which was Japheth was born 2444, Cush 2342. You see? They don't even put Egypt up there because it's unnecessary. Shem 2441. Ham 2440. And see up down here got the flood 2344. The ark was built 2464. Okay, but what's clear on this same Cro-Magnon, Neanderthal, biblical chronology, it shows the pyramids at 2550, okay, before the flood. So I don't, is these people even fucking, taking into consideration what the fuck they saying when they throw this shit together? There's not supposed to be an Egypt, so this timeline is destroying itself because they don't assume anybody know the Bible. They don't believe that you not only don't know the Bible, that you don't know his African history, chronology, or none of that. If you don't know none of that, you will fall for some shit like that. You see, but a lot of people don't understand that Egypt is supposed to be a nation after the flood. Nobody's going to explain that to you. It's not supposed to be an Ethiopia, because you can see right there, Ham at 2440. You see what I'm saying? He 2440, he was about 100 years old at the time of all of the sons of Noah. Noah was supposedly about 100 years old at the time of the flood. So you see right there, flood 2344, and then Cush is born 2342. So he was born 2 years after the flood, according to this chronology up there. He was born 2 years after the flood, and he was the oldest son of Ham. But how is that so when not only Cush is older than Egypt. So as you see that timeline, wait a minute, let me go on and go to work, and then let me go back into this book. Because I got to, I got to document these facts. Where's the chronology? Nah, here it is right here. I love this, man. I love cracking their head. Ain't none of them want to come to me. Now, this is the chronology that comes out of African kingdoms of the past. Egypt, Cush, Aksum, Kenny Man, a Cro-Magnon Neanderthal, okay? And so you got a chronology here, 10,000 BC, earliest cultivation of grains along the Nile, 5,000 to 4,000, earliest permanent settlements along the Nile. Look at this, 3,800 BC, possible founding in Nubia, Kush, Sudan, of earliest known monarchy. So you got to understand, when you look at when Egypt started, you got 3,200 BC. But then when you go up here and you look at the founding of, you got to understand that Nubia is almost 600-700 years older than Egypt. They already got a divine kingship. A lot of the, the burial attributes and characteristics was in Nubia first. That's how they understood that it came out of Nubia. Ain't no goddamn Cush born, and no Cush come even, father and mother come deeper south of Sudan, up out of the interior of Africa. Okay, not out of no goddamn Mount Arab or Mount Arak. Stop this shit. We got to destroy these myths today. Okay, so you see 3,500 to 2,800 BC, a group in Lower Nubia, and then 3,500 BC formation of kingdoms of Upper and Lower Egypt. So you see right there, before it was a united Egypt, under Narmer, the first king, they had two nations, Upper and Lower. Well, at that time, it's really not even Egypt. It's Ethiopia. It's Ethiopia. You see, ain't no Egypt, because ain't no Egypt until you got Memphis, which is the first capital of Egypt. And so Menes, as you look down there, Menes or Narmer creates Memphis, which is the first capital of Egypt, the very first capital. So there is no Egypt before Memphis. You see, so everything before 3,100 BC is Ethiopia. See, so when it says no, it's no Upper Egypt, that's Ethiopia. And so they, that's a little slight right there. So you won't understand that it's Ethiopia, okay? And that what you call, Egypt was really the little piece of land from Memphis to the Mediterranean was technically Egypt, okay? Which is a small piece of land compared to what you see today. You see, and so you see here the date showing and proving that, Nubia is even older than Egypt, even older than Egypt. So this date that they're using for the flood is erroneous, man. That shit is totally erroneous. There's no way you could use that. Okay, let me make sure everybody in the house, family, we still rolling. We still rolling. We cracking heads today. Y'all better study this over and over and over, because I'm putting critical points in here. Okay, we got more family in the house. Let me get them in here, family. Let me get them in here. Let me get them on in here. Get right back on it. All right. We black. Make sure it went out. Okay, it went out. Okay, good. All right. Now, okay, so we dealing with this harm. And so the only thing that, like I said, that you can get out of what the Bible is talking about is the fact of Egypt is the land of Ham. We got to understand that Ham. So when you see that Ham, it can be a prefix, it could be a suffix. You see? And another thing that, what you must understand, you understand, when you see Ham, you understand that Egypt is referred to as the land of Ham. So when you see Ham, it's very important that you understand they really making a reference to Egypt being the source of the wisdom, of the knowledge. You see, Ham don't exist, but when you see Abraham, you see, and so Egypt and Cush is interchangeable. Okay, so when you say, Egypt, you say Egypt Cush. You see, Egypt Cush.